So I thought that was really great.
Thank you, Laraine.
So they can go on this, so they can get the membership, and then what does that give them if they are a member?
Well, yeah, it will give anybody access to an entire library of teachings.
Yoga anytime,
videos,
yoga classes,
videos.
meditation classes anytime they want?
Anytime. It's just full access to everything.
Nice.
Then we do 52 Mondays a year. So every Monday night of the year, we do a live webinar for all members. So you can make that a part of your recovery and a part of your life, that at 5 p.m. Pacific time on Monday night, you'll be hearing a live teaching from either me or another teacher about recovery from addiction, but also about spirituality or nutrition or any of a variety of topics about how to live really well on this path. And mostly what I think we're giving people is connection to others, so you can connect with the rest of the community.
Nice. Feeling like you're not alone.
And access this lifestyle.
Right. That's big, right?
It's big. It is big.
I wanted to ask you, but I feel like you've already answered it. But if you haven't, please answer this. What keeps you doing what you do?
Well, I feel like I've had a second chance at life many times, many second chances. And I feel that every step of the way, my teachers, whoever they were, whatever form they took, gave me the love and the teachings necessary for me to continue my personal life and my growth, my healing. And after you've been given something like that and you recognize that you've healed, you feel very compelled to pass that along to other people who are suffering in the way that you used to. So that's really it. It's just...
Well, thank God you feel that way. That's amazing, Tommy. That's big. I don't know if everyone truly, I don't know, but speaking from you and from your heart, that is beautiful and just beyond how you have taken that and taken what happened in your life and said, I'm going to do this.
Yes. Well, it's the natural next thing. It's what seems like the right next thing to do.
Absolutely. Who has really, I'm sure there's been many, but who has really, was really pivotal in changing your life?
Well, my life teacher, Guru Prem. Guru Prem is an American-born Sikh who found his way to Kundalini Yoga and the Sikh path through Yogi Bhajan, his teacher, back in the 70s. And Guru Prem was learning and healing and practicing and teaching Kundalini Yoga and yoga in general. And I was very fortunate to find him at a point in my life, a point in my recovery when I really needed the next lesson plan, if you will. And he was there.
And how long have you been, has he been your teacher?
Since December of 2003.
Oh, wow.
Was when I met him. And pretty much from day one, I said to myself, whatever this guy has to offer, I'm going to go get it. I'm going to receive it.
Tommy, you're so inspiring in so many ways, and you're such a special person. And I'm sure many people would like to know this, especially people who are struggling, and if you would want to share. But what is that changing point from struggling and having, this time where you just think, life may not get any better and things are just terrible and things, just being in a terribly low point in your life? What is that space between that and the next step, which is finding Guru Prem? But what gets somebody to do that, right? Because you need that bit of gusto or whatever is inside of you to just that fire, whatever it is, to just get you out of your bed and get you into that next thing. And it's so sad in our culture that one space is missing from us as a society. And a lot of people struggle with getting to that next step of changing or allowing their life to be changed. And what was it for you?
It's a long story.
Okay.
And it's difficult to answer, but I would just simply say that you come to a place of humility. You recognize that in a way you've been beaten.
Right.
And that's a good recognition. So, a friend of mine says there's two kinds of people in the world: people who are humble and people who are about to be. And I think that plays out in our world every day. You've sort of got this choice. You come in humble or you get humbled. And if that doesn't work, then you'll get humiliated. So all of those things are that happen to people who struggle with addiction. We're going to be moved toward humble, and then we're going to be moved toward humiliation. And a person can really only take that so long. When they either decide to kill themselves, or they die as a result of it, or they change.
Right.
So initially, that humility and that recognition that, I cannot go on like this any longer. This is not some kind of, this is not like I can take any credit for this. This is just, you've beaten yourself up so badly that now you have to change. Now, once you change, and once you're on a path of recovery, you're still going to need teachers along the way at every step of your personal development. You're going to need another teacher. You still have to be open. You still have to be humble. You still have to be teachable, and you still have to be hungry for it, and actually want to know the answer. Want to know, how do I show up as a sober person in this crazy world? How do I do it? And everybody asks themselves, how can I be my best?
Yes.
What's getting in the way? And so the questions for me are the same as the questions for any human being. What's the next right thing for me to do from where I am today? I'm a beginner to my next step. Yeah, I'm 26 years sober, and I'm very grateful to be that. But what's my next step? Because I'm a beginner to whatever that next thing is. I'm still a beginner to that. And everybody is in the same boat, therefore. We're all beginners to our next step.
That is great advice. That's great advice for anybody and everybody walking this earth, right? You have a book. Tell us about it.
It's true.
Yes.
Yeah, it's called Recovery 2.0.
Yeah.
Recovery 2.0, Move Beyond Addiction and Upgrade Your Life. It was published by Hay House. I'm very, very proud to be a Hay House author. And
that came out in 2013, 14?
14.
14, okay.
2014. It's been acclaimed, and we've sold, I don't know how many tens of thousands of copies, but a lot. And it's changed the life of a lot of people, which makes me very, very, very happy and very grateful.
Oh, my goodness, yes.
There's some memoir in there. There's some philosophy in there. There's some very practical tools and advice for anybody who's, interested in moving to their next right step, whether you think you're an alcoholic or not, or drug addict or not, or any kind of addict or not. This is really a book for the human race, seeing that we take a very, very broad view on addiction, to include even negative thinking and self-doubt and procrastination and things like that is all on the spectrum of addiction. How can we move beyond it? Everybody wants to know. So this is a book that you can dig into, and there's a lot of good information in there.
That it's so true. I think if you're a human being and you've survived past the point of birth, there has been some kind of struggle or trauma already, right? I mean, birth seems like it could easily be a struggle or trauma. It doesn't, just getting through that, just getting into the world. And I think that's part of our the culture we live in, the human condition is we are looking for ways that, that a guidebook, a way that, tools, things to help us get through this crazy world, like you said, at times. And yes. It definitely is. I wanted to know, so this is a question I ask all my guests. If Tommy ruled the world, what would be one thing that you would require people do to make the world a better place as a whole?
Learn how to breathe properly.
I love that.
Just that. That would be enough. Mm-hmm. That would do it.
Learn how to breathe properly.
Yes, that's it. Nothing more. There's nothing to add.
I love that. Isn't that amazing? It's something we just do so innately. We just think, oh, we're breathing. And, but really, are we really breathing? Like, I get it. You go deeper. And yep. I mean, for instance, is that something we could, do on Recovery 2.0? Do you have a class okay. Breath work and
one of the first videos you'll be sent when you're a member is called Intro to Breathing, so that you can really learn how to consciously breathe and use the breath for all of its purposes, not just bringing in oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide, but all of its purposes, changing your emotional state, dropping down into a meditative state. Mm-hmm. The breath does all that for you, but you have to know how. Someone has to show you. And once you know how, you can unravel tension patterns in the body. You can heal things that people don't necessarily feel are healable. You can unlock greater sense of power. You can unlock healing. You can unlock balance. You can unlock your potential. All of that through the breath. But just like you said, people are like, oh, well, it's the breath. We're all doing it. What's the big deal? I don't understand,
Right.
And you won't understand until you do understand, and then you'll understand and you'll realize, wow, this was at my disposal my whole life, and I never knew.
Isn't that amazing? I mean, it really makes
remarkable.
It really makes you think about the things that we just possess within ourselves that, we could use more efficiently, or we could even just unlock or just start using that we're not.
Yes.
It's very cool. Do you have any events coming up that people can go to, actually physically go to see you or hear you?
Yeah, we have, I guess we have about 15 major events this year.
Wow.
They'll come out in our calendar. Our calendar comes out day after tomorrow, actually, for 2018.
Oh, great.
And the two that I'm most excited about, there's so many, but the two that I'm most excited about is we're doing our first 7-day immersion on the East Coast in a place called Boone, North Carolina, at the Art of Living Institute there. And that's over July 4th weekend.
Oh, beautiful.
So over July 4th, yes, we will celebrate our independence from addiction.
I was just going to say, I love that synchronicity. I love it. That is the symbolism of it. That is so awesome. It's great.
Thank you. Yeah, excited. Second one is we're going to be, every year we do a very powerful training at a place called Kripalu, which is in Western Massachusetts. Mm-hmm. And my friends Ralph Gates and Nikki Myers and myself and Dr. Melody Moore and Tim Walsh and Elena Brower, all these wonderful teachers, we all get together and we teach a week-long symposium on yoga, meditation, and recovery from addiction. And that's the Monday of Memorial Day, the end of May. Oh. Monday of Memorial Day through Friday. So that's a very exciting event as well.
Okay, so that's coming up. People can start planning for that one now.
Oh, yeah.
May. Okay. That's great. Tommy, the work you do is so awesome. Yes. I'm just always,
Thank you, Laraine.
talk about humbled to be around you and speaking to you. If you want to find that information, I'm going to say your website again and try not to mess it up. It's
Sure.
www.r